Aloha guys, and welcome back to the Sowell Garage. I'm Cameron Sal, and in today's episode of Let's Build a Turbo Taco, we got ourselves some new seats. Ugh. I scored a killer deal on these. These are MK3 Supra Seats. I picked them up for about $100 locally from, well, basically this 2JZ guru that I met. Honestly, I'm just super excited to get these things in because the stock bench seat just kind of absolutely kills my back. I'm ready to change these out. So, well, first things first, I think we got to disassemble the seats in the Tacoma and see what we got to do if it's bolt in, which I highly doubt, or if we got to make some custom brackets or something like that. So let's go, guys. So we have our old seat out. It was actually really easy. It was 4 bolts for the bench seat style anyways. Then I just popped the seat belts through the little holes there. Yeah, it was actually really light. You guys were able, you could see that I could do it all on my own. So it's looking like the brackets are gonna be pretty close, but we're definitely going to have to drill and tap somewhere in here. But as you can see, I have got an absolute mess to clean up. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. So we finally have our truck nice and clean now. Found a lot of change in there and found a lot of broken glass, which makes me wonder if this truck was like broken into previously before or something like that. Yeah, so now it's time to go ahead and mock up the Supra seats and see how they sit. So I can't even make this up right now. I popped all this stuff off, removed the carpet so that way I could see if there were any like pre-existing bolt holes or anything like that. And there's just all this change up under here. I don't know how all this got in here, but there's just more glass too. So this is what I'm thinking, guys. I have some leftover steel over there from a different project. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to flatten these brackets out because there's about an inch difference. I think this one's about 16 inches from that hole to this hole. The stock seat is about 17. So what I'm thinking is I'll flatten these out, cut out a bracket, bend it, no welding or anything like that. Drill some holes and then see how it fits up. I think that's gonna be the game plan for now, guys. Let's go. So it is the next day, guys, and I got 3 out of the 4 brackets made. The only issue that I'm having is this hump here gets slightly larger the farther we go in, but I did find that there is actually a bolt hole here that's pre-threaded, and it's exactly the same measurement that I need for the Supra seats. So I think what I'm gonna do is just build a bracket that goes to that bolt hole, obviously. All right, let's go, guys. So we got our brackets all trimmed up, looking somewhat decent. They're painted. So now it's time to actually test and wire up the power seats. So there were 3 wires, and I hate to do it, but I had to cut the factory connector so that way I could test them, or so I could connect the wires to it properly. And there was one that was black and white. So traditionally, black or brown is going to be a ground. That rhymed and I didn't mean for it to, but anyways, so I hooked that one up to a single wire and then the other 2 to power. So we'll see if it works. I think it will. Alright guys, so I am feeling pretty defeated. I am an ET and I cannot, for whatever reason, figure out these other 4 wires. I'm not exactly sure what they are for, but yeah, it's kind of kicking my ass right now. I was able to get the rest of these done and wired up and get the forward and back going, but anytime I check any of these wires with resistance and then flip the switches, I'm not getting any of them that are like connected. So I don't know if they all need to go to power, if they all need to go to ground. That to me wouldn't make sense why they would have 4 different wires if they all needed something in common. I don't know. So I think I'm just going to take these up for now, get the seat installed, get this wired in. It's gonna be kind of a hack job for right now until I can get a nice day to go in there and solder everything up. So I guess we'll do that, guys. So we have finally gotten the seat wired. I went through the entire harness, basically took out, Toyota had like a whole bunch of like cutout switches and relays and stuff in there, basically for the seat back to make sure it doesn't extend too far. The relay I think was for the seatbelt safety switch, for once you hook up your seatbelt, it extinguishes the light in the dash. We don't need that. We're going to be using the stock Tacoma ones. But yeah, I'll go ahead and show you guys how this works. Basically, I redid the entirety of the harness, so yeah, I'll show you guys a little bit of my work here. So this is actually the power harness that comes out, and trimmed it down so it's literally just a positive and a negative. So I'll go ahead and hook that up. And then so we got seat forward, seat back, forward rail or back rail, forward rail, adjustable top and bottom for the space of the seat. Yeah, so it all works now. And like I said, I simplified it down to literally just 2 wires, so we just need to switch 12 volts. So now that we have our wiring all done, we can finally get this thing into this truck. It has been an ordeal, and I know I did a lot of the wiring and stuff like that off camera. If you guys are kind of curious about that and see how like I make wiring harnesses and stuff like that, it's not hard. It just takes a little bit of time and patience. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this seat into this truck, man. Alright guys, so from everything that I'm seeing, we need to bring this up probably about 1 inch. So I'm gonna go to City Mill, see what I can find, maybe some like bar stock or something, so that way I can just simply drill a hole through it and then place it under it, and then we can get some longer bolts too. I won't forget that. I'm gonna forget that. Yeah, let's go to City Mill and see what we can find, guys. So we are back from City Mill. I grabbed some square tubing, so I think it's gonna be pretty much perfect. It's 1 inch, so we're gonna have to go ahead and cut that up. And yeah, I also did grab the bolts. I didn't forget. So there's that. So let's go ahead and get all this stuff cut up and test fit again. Alright, so we have our pieces cut and our spacers put in. They're not fully tightened down just yet, but the main thing that I was trying to check here, beforehand the undercarriage portion was kind of dragging on the carpet, so that is not happening anymore. Close, really close, but it's not happening anymore. So we are finally all bolted in. I got everything, well, finally perfect, nice and bolted in. And sorry I did that off camera, but I kind of needed a little bit of break. But as you guys can see, we got our little lift blocks there. Everything's good. I mainly just need to get this wiring harness hooked up, but it is super solid. It is not going anywhere. There's like almost no wiggle or anything to it. Oh, this is so much nicer. So much better than the stock Tacoma bench seat. Man, that thing was just absolutely killing my back, and this feels so much better. It's so nice. But now that we finally have our seat installed, everything's bolted down, everything is nice and solid, let's go ahead and just, I guess, finish up the wiring harness. I think I'm gonna run it into one of the 3 cigarette lighters that I have, and I don't use them, so I'm just going to use that since it's going to be a switched 12 volt accessory wire. Disaster, but everything is wired in. We're looking good. We need to button this up. This is not permanent. This is just temporary until I build my own wiring harness for the 2JZ and all that stuff, and then I'll have my own dedicated relays for this kind of stuff. Alright guys, so that is going to be a wrap on today's episode of Let's Build a Turbo Taco. We have our Supra Seats mounted in our truck, and they are a million times better. I can only It feels like a totally brand new truck. This thing is just absolutely phenomenal to drive now. But I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick look at our brackets. So all we got here is a spacer. It's the same on the other side. And then we just have kind of like an L bracket. So for the inner one, it's kind of like an L bracket because the bolt is kind of angled on the side of this like hump rail here. So it kind of goes like that, up a little bit, and then flat. And it's the same here. Maybe we can get a better look here. So kind of like that. You can see what I'm talking about there. Same with the back here. It's just a spacer on the back side of the passenger bolts. I'm gonna need to replace those seat belts. But as you can see here, it's time to give her a bath. And she is looking mighty fine. But with all that being said, I just want to thank you guys so much for coming back, watching. If you like what we're doing here, the builds, please make sure to come back, subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you guys think. But you'll see here in a new video that it's not going to be just the Turbo Taco build. We're gonna have other builds going on too, or restoration projects, things like that. Because I kind of do a little bit of everything, and it's not just mechanical work. It's a little bit of everything because I love electrical. I love doing it all. So, but with that being said, thank you guys once again so much. Make sure to come back, and peace.